boy J God. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Red button on the right side. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Why are we here? Carmelo! You didn't just say that. Tell me you just didn't say that. That the Lakers, you was going to be a Laker, and all they had to give up was Lamar Odom and Bynum, and you and Nene would have been Lakers. And this is 2011. You still have Powell. You still have that core guys that helped win a championship. And you got another big man who's serviceable and a really smart player, and a Melo who's basically in the peak of his powers. Teaming up with a Kobe Bryant while Phil Jackson was still there. My theory is that they wanted to move away from the Kobe era. Yes, Kobe had an era. They wanted to move away from that Kobe era and swiftly go to that LeBron era. That gotta be planned. That had to be planned, because this old nigga at the time, Kobe Bryant, someone who was about to be the GOAT, was still winning championships. So if Melo and Nene, who's a serviceable big, who was averaging 14 to 13 points a game, 13 to 14 points a game, wasn't a rebounder, but a solid big, and you have Kobe, Melo, Powell, because Powell would have still been there because he's now a part of the trade, and you have Nene there, that's a championship. That's a championship. The NBA ruined Kobe Bryant's career, and I think they did it on purpose. Allegedly, they wanted LeBron James to be the guy so bad and take the NBA into another level that they did everything in their power for Kobe to not get that sixth ring. They wanted to protect Jordan's legacy that damn bad that Carmelo was supposed to be a Laker, but it didn't happen. Chris Paul going to the Lakers was vetoed by the NBA. And it's not like they gave up a bunch of scrubs. They gave up Sixth Man of the Year, Lamar Odom, and Hall of Famer. He's going to the Hall of Fame. Don't matter what y'all think. Don't matter what y'all say. He going to the Hall of Fame. Pau Gasol, he might be, when the NBA do their 100 best players of all time, Pau might be in there. For Chris Paul. And this is when they had Steve Blake and Steve Nash at the time. So we get a defensive guy that can orchestrate Chris Paul in a D'Antoni offense. So yeah, Chris Paul, Kobe Bryant, who's still a good defender, good to great defender. You have Ron Artest, who's still an awesome defender. You have Pau Gasol, who's not a bad defender. And you have Dwight Howard, who was basically the best defensive player in the league. With that team, D'Antoni would have looked like a defensive genius. But they vetoed that trade. Well, Pau Gasol wouldn't have been there, so that's my bad. So Powell wouldn't have been there. But 4 out of 5 of those guys are defensive oriented, and they're on the same team. And that I think that was in 2012 to 13 season. Come on, man. Come on, man. With Steve Blake and Steve Nash as the backup, Steve Nash get to play less minutes, and he gets to be more healthy instead of logging more minutes. He's playing less because we got Chris Paul and get Steve Blake as the backup point. They did not want Kobe Bryant to get that 6th ring. They didn't want him to get that 7th ring. They possibly didn't want him to get that 8th ring. Let's just judge both scenarios. The Chris Paul veto and the Melo that was supposed to be a hook, line, and sinker. Let's go with the Melo first. You got a serviceable big with Nene. Melo, vicious score. Kobe, an assassin. Derek Fisher's still on the team. He played D. Ron Artest is still on the team. So they cover up Melo's on defense. They cover Melo on defense. But offense, like Melo's gonna do, he gonna be Melo. Now, Phil Jackson, let's say Phil Jackson stays the coach of the Lakers. Now he's building Carmelo and Kobe Bryant together. Let's say Phil Jackson stays an extra 4 years. Probably Kobe doesn't tear his Achilles, because you gotta remember on that in that season when he had to play point guard and he had to guard all those point guards and doing all that just for the Lakers to barely make the playoff with Dwight Howard and Pau Gasol. That took a toll on Kobe. He was playing 40 plus minutes a night on a D'Antoni offense. Now, 4 years as Phil Jackson, you get a coach that's going to sit him down when he needs to sit down. You get a coach that's going to read the room. You get a coach that's going to play Kobe less minutes so he can be more viable in playoff time. And Melo, great chance of getting a ring. Great chance of multiple rings. Let's say Kobe and Melo get 2 rings together. They win 11 and they win 12. That's 7 rings for Kobe. That's 12 rings for Phil Jackson. That's 2 rings for Melo. Probably Melo takes over the Lakers. Probably Kobe retires a little early because he already has 7 rings. He doesn't really have that much to prove anymore. And he gave all he needed to give to the game. And Kobe Bryant will probably be regarded higher because it felt like he left at the right time. That's the Melo. The Chris Paul, they playing that D'Antoni offense. If Chris Paul's the orchestrator of the offense, Kobe can sit in the corner a little bit more. Kobe can get those elbow threes. So he's going to get easier points playing with Chris Paul. Their bench becomes deeper with Steve Blake and Steve Nash as backup point. We got 4 defenders in the starting lineup. And I think Dwight Howard would have been a little bit more happy with a pure point guard with Chris Paul. Even with the back spasm, with the back problem, he probably would have averaged 21 or 22 at least points a game. Kobe would have had good numbers. Chris Paul would have ran the show, possibly won an MVP for the Lakers. Less minutes get to be played because they're blowing teams out. 4 guys on defense. They're gonna be. That's a veteran defensive. We might be talking about that team as an all defensive team of all time. One of the greatest defensive teams of all time. Just slide in Chris Paul at the point. Team score less. Lakers score possibly more because you have an orchestrator. Save Kobe's legs for the playoffs. Possibly getting a ring or 2 with Chris Paul. And then the Lakers can move out the Kobe era to the Chris Paul and Dwight Howard era. Maybe Dwight Howard stays a Laker and never becomes teammates with James Harden. So Chris Paul and Dwight Howard putting on the show. People are wanting to play with Chris Paul and Dwight Howard. The Lakers, in the long run, probably get, after the Kobe era, get 2 more possible championships. Maybe. Who knows? Now, the NBA ruined Kobe Bryant to getting his 6th, possibly 7th, possibly 8th ring. And they did it twice. As an NBA fan, as a Kobe fan, as a Mike fan, Michael Jordan, as a LeBron fan, as a Melo fan, as a Chris Paul fan, as an NBA fan, this doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem fair for that to happen, possibly because they want the NBA to promote LeBron James as a champion. Now, I still think, even with the Kobe, Chris Paul, and Kobe and Melo, I still think Bron gets 13, and I still think he still gets 14 championship. Well, yeah, it'll be 13. I think he at least get 13. I think he at least get 13. It was undeniable. 12, possibly, maybe, but definitely 13. But what do y'all think, man? Do y'all think the NBA tried to screw Kobe Bryant? Do y'all think the NBA had a set plan of being able to push Kobe out the door and make LeBron the biggest star by helping him get a ring at the age of 27? But it's your boy J God. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Red button on the right side. In my closing statement, let's own something.